Alright, let's see here. There's a whole bunch of journals in here. Inspect should let me... Nope. Oh, read. You can inspect then read. Journal of Tyr Magnus. Word from the gambling den is that Jokul has been buying up valuables off the deceased gladiators. He's working some scheme, I can feel it. What does he want with Iandra's greaves? They're finely crafted, but not going to turn a profit by selling them to another gladiator. Jokul bears watching. Father's greatsword, the gentleman's favor, has been stolen, presumably when the retainers brought his body back to the gladiator pit. I should feed them to the Fae in Alisrund for this. No doubt the sword will surface in the black market at some point, to be bought by some grubby gambling dead patron. The beast tamers deliver yet another Fae beast from the hollows of Alisrund. The afternoon exhibition will be splendid, and I am reminded once again of my ingenuity in establishing Valor Arena as a place of business. It was a battle to bribe the vendors into moving their enterprises and families to the desert, and it was a long and arduous task to carve the road through Alisrund, but now my arena is the jewel of Detir. The resulting revenue is reaching staggering heights. I've sold Hroth Magnus's breastplate to Thora Woolstring, who will undoubtedly resell it for some degree of profit. With that, I have divested myself of Father's possessions, save for this grand arena, which will soon become as unfamiliar to him as the concept of financial stability. Okay. Why were those separate journals? It's weird because the rest of the game, you just have more pages. They roll really short. Definitely read individual things that were longer than that. To my son, I have reveled in the art of battle all my life. I have given you, my son, and all mortals of Amalur, the means to continue my celebration until the winds grind this arena to dust. If you're reading this, then I have been granted my first and only defeat in the arena. It is my hope that it was at your hands that this place and the championship stayed in the family. Why? Their entire way of life is just baffling to me and seems really pointless. Why would you have peasant stuff just hanging around? Is that reminiscent? Or, different? Hey! One of these spots. They do work. You can customize your appearance with these mirrors. That one just didn't work on that one level, apparently. Huh. This head. So anyway, I'm probably never coming back here. Bye. I'm gonna run this death arena for a very long time, and then I'm going to die in it. Now it's yours, son. Thanks for murdering me. Why? You could just not do that, but okay. Back to what we're doing. I guess that kind of just turned into a one episode detour on the trajectory of us going through this stuff, but I wanted to try to follow up on any covenants that I had missed. One might say it wasn't worth it, but it's over. If nothing else, I got like a level or two out of it again.
Stop! State your business.
Keep your hands off me, fool. I'm no Tuatha. I must speak with the Siegebreaker. It is a pleasure to meet the Siegebreaker. Especially here, in a land where pleasure has been all too rare. I am Sidon the Outcast, Prince in exile of the House of Sorrows. I'm here to welcome you to our home. I see the hesitation in your eyes. Although I am Fae of the Winter Court, you and I have a common enemy.
Who are you?
I am Sidon the Outcast. Once, I was Prince of the House of Sorrows, but my true duties are to the true Court of Winter. The Winter Fae have been disgraced and despoiled by Gadflow and the Tuatha. With your help, I can end their reign.
Where'd you come from?
Clearly I'm not Tuatha. I carry a loathing for them that mortals could never understand. I simply approached your lines peacefully and expressed my desire to speak with the Siegebreaker. It seems that even the simplest mortal soldier can recognize an ally against our mutual enemy.
Why should I trust you?
You shouldn't. The Winterfell knows that trust is a weakness. But sometimes, an alliance is necessary. You accomplished a great feat here. But the Tuatha are far from defeated. I can offer my aid in your campaign. You'll find my companions and me at Foe's Hearth to the east. We can speak more there. Now be careful. These
so few of the Winter Court left to You go ahead. It's been some time since Sidon and I had a chance to talk.
Indeed, Agarth. I hear on the winds that you laid down your sword and drowned yourself in drink when you learned the ways of fate. And yet here you are, sword in hand, again the victor. How is this? Do the winds lie to me?
It's a long tale. It started when I sobered up long enough to go bury a friend of mine in Alistar Tower. Or rather, that's what I had planned to do. So few of the Winter Court left to stand against the Tuatha.
Oh. He's not going to finish that story.
Rurikon has been kind here.
That was so awkward. They were scripted to have a conversation with each other, but they also both immediately shouted barking lines at me just because I was nearby. And then so one started talking, then the other one talked over them, and then their conversation overrode both of those lines before either of them could finish. They have not learned from Bethesda's mistakes, which Bethesda hasn't either, so, you know. I can't believe how much every Bethesda game has that problem where every single character near you just starts shouting random lines at you, which is like, it's just a nightmare when it's like, I'm trying to talk to somebody, and it's like, nope. You can't, sometimes you can't even hear the person you're talking to because random people walk by and shout lines at you over them. And then you walk into places like the railroad in Fallout 4 that's so crowded by comparison. And you just, every time you walk into the area, suddenly like 12 people start talking simultaneously at the same time, just shouting over each other. Like, if they really wanted to, they could make a little like, hey, he's here, like group shout, if that's what they're going for, like the triumphant hero returns and everybody's cheering that they see him as a group. Like, they could make that a separate audio thing completely. That's not what they're going for, as far as I can tell, or if they are, they're doing it very badly. It's just every single person that you walk near that isn't hostile, basically, will just shout a greeting in those kinds of games, no matter what.
Winter is strong in this place. When first the Fae walked into its depths, it bore great fossils, bones of beasts greater and more terrifying than we Fae. But for all their strength, the earth at their feet lasted longer. It sapped their strength, their life, their flesh.
One of the most severe examples that comes to mind is my Henry the Popular video, which was a highlight compilation of my Kingdom Come Deliverance video playthrough where everyone just kept shouting, Henry! Oh, shit, Henry's come to see us, hi everyone! Just out of nowhere. Which was aggravating and weird because I didn't know any of these people, and why did they all know who I was and so on? Like, it didn't make sense for me to be that famous. In fact, the advertised premise of that game was that you're supposed to be just some dude and not the chosen one or whatever, but then you super were. But at its worst, there would often be cutscenes where something was supposed to be playing out in a specific way, but all the random crowd members in the cutscene kept shouting my name in the middle of the cutscene. Like, they would just periodically remember I'm there, and I'll be like, Henry's come to see us! Is that Henry? Oh, Henry! Come over here, boy! Like, and I'm like, we're doing a cutscene. Like, this doesn't fit at all. And the same NPC would trigger over and over again over the course of the same cutscene. Like, just go back to remembering. What a mess.
I have waited some time for you to come, Siegebreaker, and it seems that my patience has, at least, been worthwhile. The House of Sorrows has need of your might. Aid us, and you will earn a strong ally in the war against the Tuatha Deon.
How many houses are there? What do you need?
Like your Alfar allies, we Winterfell suffer under the Tuatha's onslaught. And like the Alfar, we Winterfell need a champion. but it is a difficult position we are in, mortal. The Fae are not like your kind. We have different priorities, different threats. We need someone who understands that.
Those House of Ballads except the winter version? Who are you?
You may call me Bizarrain. I represent one of the great houses of the Winter Court, the House of Sorrows. This war with the Tuatha has worn the house to all but dust. We Fae are ill-equipped to handle such change. But your kind, you mortals, can bear it.
I will help you.
It is not a simple task I ask of you. I have only approached you because you show the potential of use. You must still prove your worth. Go to the midden and find the place called the Proving Halls. This hearthstone will grant you access. Once you are within the halls, my questions will be answered.
Just like, once again, he has no discernible personality. And he didn't really even introduce me to the ideology or whatever of the faction. He's just hoping that I'll care to follow up on it. Which, like, he is one of the factions, so I guess I will, but, like, come on, man. Storytelling.
So few of the Winter Court left to stand against the Tuatha.
Yeah, I heard you last time.
It is agreeable to see you, Siegebreaker.
How'd you beat me here?
Cluricon can be inhospitable at times,
I just run.
as the Tuatha have learned. We've made sure of it.
You said you could help us.
So I did. We are the Bitter Frost, the last few remnants of free Winter Fae. We have refused to bend knee to Gadflow or his god. Our numbers are few, but we have fought our kin as best we can. The once noble houses of sorrow, pride, and vengeance have all fallen under Gadflow's sway. Until they're freed, the Tuatha's ranks will continue to swell with the faithful.
Why do I need your help?
You can't fight a war on your own. And even if you could, you'd find your path barred by the House of Pride, as well as the House of Vengeance. You need a way to strike at their heart. A way to reach Gadflow himself. And we know how you can get there.
A lot of houses. A village, even. What can I do? Literally, how can I trust you again? I can just keep saying the same thing again.
Blind him. Cut out his tongue. Draw the venom from our land. Only then will we be able to begin to strike at Alabastra. The Tuatha have built Prismere chantries across Cluricon. From here, Gadflow rallies the faithful, preaches the word of Tirnoch, and corrupts our land. Destroy these chantries and disrupt Gadflow's ability to infect this land. Without Gadflow to guide them, the Tuatha in Cluricon will be disorganized and scattered. When this is done, we'll take you to Ventrinio. He can help you breach Alabastra.
Holy cow, I've been looking for Ventrinio for a century. I forgot about Ventrinio. I did a whole war since then. Okay.
Go now. Break the tyrant's grip.
Back out into that world. And I've got a whole new faction to follow up on in the meantime. I paused it to finish my thought at the time because I'm like, he's very suspiciously placed. I bet that he is going to stare me down, and he's definitely blocking that path to force a conversation if I approach him. Okay, so go left if I can. That'll head me towards one of them. We've got a whole new place to discover the fast travel points to, basically. These really long, sinuous areas must exclusively exist because the individual regions just need time to load, and they just couldn't figure out how to make it work or something. Because they're just so wasteful? Really? Oop. Is he right here? Oh, he is right here. Okay. I'll follow up on the Sorrows then, since I'm apparently right next to them. Like, it must have been a performance problem, because, like, It's just really, the areas feel really wasted and needless, how it just kind of goes forever in a direction. Must be another way to get down there. Ow, stop it. Ow, stop it. Oh my god. Ow. Oh, camera, no! God fucking damn it, this game! It's just a... It's so a wreck. When did I... Oh god, when was the last save? Where is this? Is it just before the conversation? Oh, it's on my way back out. Okay. God, the camera is so bad. Most of the time it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't try to help or hinder. It just kind of is awkward. It's just like, there's a camera. It gets further from your character during combat sometimes, which is like to help you see more of your surrounding area, which makes sense. But sometimes it just decides, I'm gonna try to look at this thing now. And it's like almost always wrong. It constantly just tries to look at something that does not matter to me at all. And I'm like, no, I don't, it's fine, camera. No, I was fine before. In fact, us gamers, we get pretty used to having control of our camera, so I'm already steering it, because usually I have to in order to get anything done. So when you just rip the control out of my hand and be like, I'm gonna look at this cliff now, it's like, sir, there is a purple... There's a purple difficulty level thing attacking me right now. If that's not what you want to have on camera, I don't know what the fuck your priority system is, man. Because that's definitely the answer. I definitely want to look at the fucking purple enemy. That coupled with like the freaking stun locking and the homing attacks and the high damage all around where everyone dies quickly, it's just... Let's get on down here. I guess I need to switch quests again because it's saved before that point. There we go.
And so you have come.
Oh.
Whether to aid the house or rain punishment on the Tuatha, I do not know. That you are here is enough. To assuage your confusion, I am Bizarrain, king of the house. During your trials, I will observe and communicate to you through this medium.
How are you talking to me?
Through the crystal you see before you. It is not magical in and of itself, but a conduit for my own magic. All your actions will be known to me. Every word will be listened to.
What is this about?
This is about you, of course. You are the only mortal to be given a chance to join the House of Sorrows. But do not think such an offer is given out of honor or respect for you. What drives me to this offer is what brought you here. Necessity.
What must I do?
What you do is of no concern to me. What I hope to evaluate is what you are, to know how you might best help the house. I have locked the way behind you. The way forward is your only path out of these halls. I can tell you no more, other than that I will be watching.
What you do is of no concern to me. I will now, with my following sentences, explain how what you do is of concern to me. What the fuck? Did they think about those sentences when they put them together? Because, like, they don't make any fucking sense. What I do is very much of concern to him. It's a test, or he's judging my actions. What the fuck? It'd be one thing if he was like, succeed at any cost. I don't give a fuck how. I'm not even gonna look. But he's literally judging my actions. That means exactly that what I do is of, Jesus Christ. I bit my lip for so long. Tongue. What's the right phrase? I think it's bit my tongue. For so long with this game, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just missing stuff. Maybe it's just like I'm getting lost in all the names and shit like that, and I didn't want to I wasn't actively criticizing it, but like, man, what is going on with the writing in this game? It's like, it's just exposition, so even when it makes sense, it's boring, but it often makes no sense on top of being boring. They just sort of string together phrases that sound like they might feel a little cool.
The beast will kill me if you do not help.
You're not real. Where's the monster?
I do not know. The midden, it has been sullied. We've never feared such assaults until recently. Wait, what was that? It is here.
Okay, what is the midden? Ah, whoa, okay, these guys all just came out of nowhere. Every boss creature just kind of naturally spawns other creatures to come at me, evidently. Get off of me. No, come on, man. There we go. Here it come. I should have done this at the beginning. Yeah, I shouldn't have triggered it now because I think all the people that are crouching at the end of it. Oh shit! I hit B instead. I fucked everything up. I didn't get the full bonus and I didn't press it right. Womp womp. But yeah, no, I shouldn't. I was like, I thought, oh, that's a tough enemy. I should probably do it, but no, I should have. I should have done it at the beginning or not at all, because I think it amplifies everyone. Everyone's experience drops. Is she dead? Or did she run away? I do not see her. I keep doing rites of passages and tests, but pretty exclusively the only way this game lets you interact with stuff is to fight it, so all of the tests are the same.
And so you have completed your first trial. Your actions spoke volumes, but your reactions are just as pertinent. You killed the creature that was chasing that woman. Why?
It attacked. Tell me why I'm here.
It would be at great fault if I did not know something of you, the mysterious mortal without a fate to call his own. Your lack of fate is intriguing, I will admit. And although it is why I summoned you, it does not represent the whole of your nature. Hence, the need for evaluation. Ahead, you will find a Fae of Sorrows succumbing to poison. I am interested to see what you make of him.
I didn't answer his question. And he just let me not answer his question, even though that's supposedly the point. I'm convinced that whenever I have the option to use a persuasion on somebody, it just breaks the conversation, because it skips that layer of the conversation without actually resolving it. And it's often vague what I'm even accomplishing, in many cases, by persuading them. It often feels like they don't understand the point of having persuasion checks in other RPGs, because they drop the ball every single time, and the script just kind of like glitches out practically, and just loses its mind, and it's like, yeah, continuity, bye. Well, what's happening in this conversation now? It's hard to follow. Anyway, we're just gonna skip past the thing that was supposedly important. And meanwhile, it's like, on paper, this is an interesting idea. Not that interesting, because I've seen it a lot of times, but on paper, this is a thing that people can do well. The fact that it's like, oh, it's a test. Here's a thing. We're gonna put you in a situation, and then you've got to like make a choice in the situation, and then you have to justify your choice afterwards. In fact, that was the entire plot of the game Tyranny. There's that big judgment at the end where you have to answer for all of your supposed crimes throughout the entire game. But here, all you do is fight things. And she's like, I'm under attack. And then like, it's me, I'm the one attacking. And then the fight starts. And it's like, why did you attack that thing? It's like, 'cause fight started. There isn't a don't fight the thing like option in these games once the fight start, unless it's the open world and I'm running past them. But like, there's no like, I can't like shoot them with sleep darts like it's Metal Gear Solid. Like, there aren't choices, so you questioning my actions falls flat and pointless because I didn't make a choice.
Please, are you the mortal that Bizarrain has brought to aid us? The one he is promised? Thank mercy I have been poisoned. But now that you are here, you can kill me. Please, end my suffering.
You want me to kill you?
Please, mortal. I know it's strange, but the Fae are not like you. Death is different to us. I will rise once more in time, but killing me will let me escape this suffering.
Will you rise once more? Because isn't one of the main parts of the plot that the Fae are like diminishing and there's fewer and fewer of you or something, or you're on like the final, you're reaching the end of your civilization or something? That was like the whole point earlier with like the tree spirit. He said that he's like he's overwatching the end of the Fae. What happened?
I do not know. It is some poison. In other times the Fae would not be vulnerable to this. But we are weaker now. We are prone. I could have walked from this once. But now...
I feel like you shouldn't be psyched about dying, because I feel like you guys are on your way to dying forever. So every time... My interpretation at this point is that every time you die, you're kind of rolling the dice and maybe not coming back. Who did this to you?
I don't know.
Wow.
The pain. Please, it is too much. Find the mercy to kill me.
Alright, I guess.
Thank you for ending this.
The test is to do what the Fae want, so I guess I just do what the Fae want. This one was at least a choice. But he wants a Fae that understands the different morality of Fae, so I guess I'll do that. Why is it always a very long hallway? It's just their only way. It's just their default every time to level design.
You readily deliver, it seems. But did that Fae die as a result of your mercy or your barbarity?
Definitely mercy. Were you not paying attention? Why is this trial needed?
I lead a court of winter Fae who wish to free these lands from the Tuatha, and we have gone too long without new blood. You have demonstrated substantial worth. One trial remains.
What do you pretend negging me? Because actually I'm doing what you want every time? Nope, can't open that yet. Gah. There we go. Once again, I didn't answer his question. I did a persuasion check, and he explained kind of something to me, and I just skipped answering his question, so I don't have to justify any of my behaviors, which I thought was the point of all this.
You have reached this chamber at last. The time of trial is over. No more apparitions, no more questions. The House of Sorrows has always held a precarious position in this world, and now we hold on to it by the tips of our fingers. You think you have broken the Tuatha's grip on Cluracan. You have not. Even now, the Winter Fae and the House of Sorrows are subject to their malice.
What can I do?
The House of Sorrows has always existed to preserve and maintain the oldest traditions of winter. We are the essence of these Faelands. The House holds an authority among the Fae that the Tuatha have always coveted. Now, they finally seek to claim that power for their own. We must conclude your trial. Ready your weapon. You are to strike me down.
Why show yourself now?
Because there are trials that I can observe from afar, and others that I must see at hand. We have reached the trial that I must be present for, if I am to test you truly.
Why do I need to strike you?
What you need to do and why you must do it are two very different matters, mortal. I deal in instructions, not explanations.
Okie dokie.
Indeed. Perhaps not.
Oh. Are we not fighting?
Now that your trial has concluded, come with me. The Tuatha have yet to break down our doors, but I would not put that past them. The house is poised to collapse from the Tuatha's dissension and destruction, and I need one to help us.
So you just lied when you said you were, when you were done with apparitions, because that was also an apparition, apparently. I will stop the Tuatha.
Perhaps you will, indeed, deliver us from them. Or perhaps you will only forestall the inevitable. I suppose we shall learn one way or the other. You are of our house now. The Hearthstone I gave you will reflect your affinity with us. Come, join me at the House of Sorrows. I will show you a world stranger than you have ever seen.
Did I pick all the right answers, or do your answers not matter? He didn't even really say judgments. He's like, okay, anyway, we're done.
We should not discuss your
Just made the whole thing kind of unsatisfying to not have any resolution. Maybe that'll come next.
Speak.
Oh, now we're speaking.
I have a task for you. Of late, there are many in this house who have come to view my authority with disdain. As such, there is need of someone unbiased by our house's history and the traditions therein. Someone such as you. We must move quickly. The Tuatha will not hold their strikes for long. Let us stop their next blow.
People are viewing your leadership with disdain? Are they also being put through your negging apparition gauntlet? How can we stop the Tuatha?
You fail to understand. Although the Tuatha wage war with us, as they have with the Alfar, they do so by other methods. Our enemies are subtle. They target individuals, not armies. They strike at convictions, not cities. And by doing so, they can retreat to where we cannot find them. For all our years of struggle, we know only this, that our enemy is led by a Tuatha agent, Saturnin. He is the master of this shadowy coup.
How do we find Saturnin?
We cannot right now. He hides himself and covers his tracks well. But I have a lead which you will investigate with one of our delvers, Tybri. A tender, Catarok, has fled the house and killed a fellow member in doing so. I suspect Saturnin's influence, or perhaps that Catarok might be Saturnin himself. Bring Tybri to the body of Catarok's victim. Though dead, the sorrows will remain on the corpse. The sorrows can lead us to Catarok.
The Sorrows. Recent history.
The House of Sorrows made a pact with the Tuatha. They would not interfere with us if we did not interfere with their war with the Alfar. Of course, the Tuatha did not trust us, so they insisted that a new king be appointed to the house, one agreeable to both parties. In the end, I was the one chosen. I was to be king. But in answering that call, I have been labeled a traitor by many within the house.
Yeah, that's what allying with the enemy is called. The gallows tree.
To your kind, it is a celebration of war. But before your mortal corpses were hung there by Tuatha, it was the emblem of our house's duty. The most reverent corpses were placed not in the midden, but hung upon those boughs to show all of nature that we still revere our essence of decay. But like all things in these lands, the tree has been defiled by war. Saturnin took our greatest symbol and turned it to filth.
Is Midden on this list? Because people keep saying that. Here it is.
The Midden is the cradle in which our race of winter was fostered. It is a place of rot, of decay, a place where the House of Sorrows holds reign.
I think the whole point of, you know, refrigeration and whatnot is just to avoid rot and decay. Tenders.
The Tenders are those sacred few who oversee the decay and decomposition of a winter phase body. They also oversee the Midden itself, for like a body, the Midden is a physical thing, a vessel for rot and ruin, that which is required for death to become rebirth. Finally, they once tended to the gallows tree, but that was before the Tuatha perverted it.
Is one of these regions going to look like the rotting area in Monster Hunter World? The House of Sorrows.
My summer brethren embody the growth and progression of nature. As such, establishing the summer realms came easy to them. But the winter fae bear the burden of regression and decay in their essence. Left alone, they would never be able to overcome such a weight. They could never unite. The house's founder, the Weeping King, took on their sorrows and freed them. We carry the burden inherent in the winter fae, so they can achieve greatness.
That's confusing. Can't everyone just stop doing it then? If some people can apparently just stop caring so much about decay? Or is the world like be rent in twain if the fae don't behave correctly? Saturnin.
He is the agent of the Tuatha, and though he bears their allegiance, his appearance is that of a winter fae. I am certain of it. I know little of him, but of me and my house, his knowledge is wide and deep. With every action, he reveals that he is merely toying with us. He is not a type of foe I am familiar with, for he does not attack outright. Instead, he instills fear and despair.
I feel like your decay job does enough to instill despair. I thought you guys were allied and truced with them, so if they're breaking the truce, then can't we just say fuck it and just go back to fighting them? Like, we really went right past the fact that you seem to be having a truce with the Tuatha, which just seems like a number of problems. Saidan.
The Prince of Sorrows once, but now no longer. He wages a war against the Tuatha with little support but his own strength. Perhaps that is enough for him, but the only thing he will weaken is the house's morale.
He's gonna weaken the house's morale by fighting the Tuatha, but the house sees you as a traitor for allying with the Tuatha. I swear I'm listening, and I'm understanding less the more I listen. Delvers.
Members of the house may choose one of two paths. The path of the Delver, or the path of the Tender. Delvers are those who commune with the sorrows of the living fae and the recently deceased. They draw forth these sorrows and assume them. However, most Delvers lost their talent over these last few centuries. But our youngest, Tybri, shows some promise.
They're necroscopes. Tuatha.
The Far Kelidae they call themselves. The Faithful.
Oh.
They take the Fae of Winter and craft them into an army. But they know little of true devotion.
I'm gonna try to ignore the fact that you just made it so that the Tuatha have 3 names in a game that has just so many names. I feel like this world could do with some pruning. Because all it does is build, but it never plays with any of its toys. Play with your toys, dick. You made them. Don't you love them? Play with your toys. Okay, but why would this exist in universe? It's just a big door that leads to just a cliff. Like, I think in Skyrim it was often like a door that was locked from the other side, so you opened it from behind and then you looped back around and so on. I didn't play very much Skyrim because I thought it was pretty boring. But like, who built this? And like, there's been so many of these where a big, expensive-looking gate goes to like this, and you just hop down. It's like, it seemed like a gate people would go both ways through from up there, but then you get to the part where it hits the world, and I'm confused.
So, you were the mortal. There were whispers that Bizarine had welcomed one of you amongst us. But to pick the siege breaker, I am awed. I forget myself. Bizarine has made his wishes clear, and we must do as he asks. Are you ready to begin?
Why do you need my help?
The Midden was once a sacred place for the House of Sorrows, for all Winter Fae, where the bodies of the dead were left to decompose. Our bodies do not rot as mortal corpses do. So when Saturnin placed the bodies of mortals here, they putrefied, corrupting the Midden. Scavengers and beasts now roam the Midden, and the body we seek is deep within. I must have someone to watch my back. Farewell.
Hello. Bye. There you go, camera. Just forget about them. They don't matter to us. You're too good for them. Oh, here comes the Burgist. They exploded. Are you gonna fight it? Nope, he's leaving. But he's getting exploded, but he's still leaving. It's a hard-coded leashing logic. Oh, yeah, I guess there is a little corpse every now and then. I guess this is supposed to be the rotting area. It just looks like it's cloudy out. But every now and then there's a little corpse. It's like, oh, damn, it sucks here. It wants me to loot them. They have so much money on them. Keep going. Nope, not you. Oh, there's like stealth corpses.
Solemn, solemn, hallowed tree. Glory to the graveyard be. Far from far.
The body is here.
Well,
I must begin my work. But the magic is sure to draw the wild fae in the area. Hold them back while I commune with the sorrows. Farewell.
The sorrows are just like, they're like memories, maybe? Or their last thoughts. Just ghosts or something. Ba-do-do-doop. Who's next? I did it. Nope. Unexpected guy. Ow. Okay, well this, okay, that's getting old. Stop it. Fuck. 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 That's enough of you. I should have hit the fate button again. Hit that XP. You done? You're done.
Yes, it is done. Cadoric's sorrows left a strong impression on the corpse. He is hiding in the Siren Crypt in the Drowned Forest. You should go there, but be wary. The impression Cadoric left on the body was conflicted. Something is not right here. I will return to the house. With the beast beaten back, it should prove safe enough now. Greetings, Siegebreaker. Although there is much that must be done, I have time to talk.
What? I didn't ask.
Farewell.
What? I pressed B. That's not a start conversation button, so even if I accidentally pressed it twice, I don't know what... That's been happening. I'm beginning to think this game's just like a buggy mess. Like, in a way that it's gotta be... I don't know. I can't say anything for certain. Maybe it's just optimism on behalf of the original game, being like, maybe it's extra buggy because THQ Nordic sucks and did a bad job. Because there's so many weird buggy moments where I'm like, I don't know. Maybe that's not the original game. It's hard to say. Because obviously big Western RPGs are infamously buggy. The first time around, plenty of the time. Alright, buds. Let's do this. No, don't fucking lock on to the guy that's already dead. Jesus Christ. How does this game exist? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Bet you regret having barbed arms now. Jesus Christ.
It was a time of change. The cycles of the seasons turned as ever, but inside the bones of the earth, there lurked a cold. It was not the cold of winter. Beside the houses of sorrows, pride and vengeance, a new turmoil fomented. A magic hitherto unseen.
Could you imagine if the characters had half as much personality as these execution animations? There's so many of them. Maybe there's one unique one for every enemy or something. This is about like a bunch of different enemy types. Because I keep seeing new ones and I'm like, oh fuck! Oh no! That shoving of the barbed limb down his throat. You're like, oh my god! He's gonna have a bad time for the next 5 seconds of his life. And then it's pretty much over. I was gonna remember that the Niskaru are separate from the Tuatha. As far as I can tell, they're completely aligned and there's basically no functional separation between them. But the Tuatha are human-y looking people, and the Niskaru are the spike monsters. They're basically the same army as far as I can tell, if I'm remembering correctly. But they are different names for different things, albeit. There appears to be a passage over here. I think that's the way back. So I go this way and wrap all the way back around, and then something's gonna open that wall, or it'll explode from a dude going through it. I think that happened once or twice. A big old ogre bursting through a wall, and then now there's a door. See you later, buds. Bogart off, am I right? Haha. If you were worth fighting, you'd catch up with me. But you're not gonna do it, are you? I mean, the last few before the final fight will, but everything else will just leash. Oh, that's a locked door. And probably need to find what opens it. Is there a lever? There's a chest. Uh-huh. I'm not seeing it. Okay, well, I'm gonna go hide up here because this might count as line of sight blocking. There you go. Get that summon down. Explode. That's like 4 dead right there. Oh, that was all of them. There's only 1 remaining. Jeez. Are we the baddies? These are just chests. At some point I just get tired of looting chests and managing inventories all the time. Oh, it just opens. You just have to be out of combat. Okay. It's one of those. One of those video game mechanics. So, more so than in-universe mechanics. Hello, spider. What inspires game to have dedicated animations? What freaks me out about those animations that introduce new enemies is that if you look at the minimap and whatnot, you can see people are moving around. Like, I think I'm in danger during those. Like, it doesn't force people to freeze while the cutscene happens. Like, I could be in trouble. They could just attack me, I think.
You are Bizarane's cat's paw, then? I knew he had let a mortal into the house's ranks. But this is who he sends to do his dirty work. Fie on him. You may return me to the cycle, but if you ever see your master, tell him this. He will never get his hands on the sorrows. All of us, will stop him.
I just can't help but wonder, like, what the fuck's happening in the setting of this game? Like, why is this guy here? And, like, why is his lair full of enemies? Are they on his team, somehow? Like, how does he survive all these enemies being around? Holy shit, that was a lot of damage. Uh-oh. That's bad. I'm gonna die. Oh, no. Whew, how am I alive? How did I survive? I'm just trying to summon my fucking skeleton, man. I'm behind a wall. Did their AI break? Their AI broke. I shouldn't be surprised at this point. He literally left combat. I went behind a wall and he's like, welp. They told me the jet would give me the jitters. Why did it take so— oh my god! I thought I was having trouble putting any dent in him and suddenly he was dead. By the way, my skeleton also, his AI broke. He just stood there the whole time. God, I hope the original game was better than this. I hope that the people weren't like, wow, yeah, I remember this game. It was great. And it was like this. I hope at least some of this stuff is not accurate. Ah, shit. Yeah, he's just surrounded by monsters in every direction. Like, how does he get in and out of that place? What is the purpose of that room? Does he like hanging out there? Does he craft anything there? Is he working on something? Is it his camp? Like, why is he in that room? Was he trying to get something out of this dungeon specifically? Or did I catch up with him where he normally is all the time? Ooh, those bricks were treated in a clipping kind of way. It's just like, there's a basic moment-to-moment believability of the setting that just kind of doesn't exist. Mainly because every quest requires going into basically the same cave over and over again. People had the gall to complain about Dragon Age 2. Like, this is such a severe version of that idea. It's always the same giant, sprawling cave that just pads things out with like a dozen combat encounters that have zero story context, and as far as I can tell, feel free to try to explain it, I guess, but as far as I can tell, it's anti-context. Like, the thing you have to go through to reach the story part is usually a setting that makes no sense and makes the story you're pursuing make less sense, because you're like, why is that character here? Why is that happening here? It varies a bit, obviously. It's not the hardest thing ever to write a dungeon and justify it, but they use it as a default for every quest so consistently that a lot of the quests don't seem to be justified in that way. Did you get back up? Oh, I thought she was sleeping there. That was weird. I thought she was laying down or something. Okay.
You have finally returned. Much has happened since you were away. The house has been sundered. Not by Tuatha, but by ourselves.
What happened? What's going on?
The house has rebelled. The other members of the house have marched against the Tuatha. I'm afraid they may have attacked Bizarane.
Good?
I do not think he is dead, but we must see to him. Sartanen is watching us. I can sense it. If Bizarane is left undefended...
I don't see the problem. Isn't it good if everyone rebels against the Tuatha? The Tuatha are the enemy. They're sacking your lands. Like, why? I feel like we have insufficiently justified why you wouldn't fight the Tuatha. It was like a throwaway sentence at best that didn't really justify itself. Why did the house rebel?
It will be difficult for you to understand, but many did not consider Bizarane the true king of our house.
Yeah, I know.
While many wanted to war with the Tuatha, Bizarane stayed our hands. And while our house collapsed around us, Bizarane did nothing. I will not lie. Though I see the value of your presence, many felt that bringing a mortal into our ranks crossed the line. With you, Bizarane made his final error.
I barely understand what I'm even doing, and you're gonna blame me for destroying your entire fucking order? I'm pretty sure it was the part where he was not fighting the Tuatha. I think that was the fucking problem, not me. I don't care about Bizarane.
He can be difficult to understand.
Yeah.
But he is the house's king.
So?
Without him, there would be no House of Sorrows.
So?
I will shadow step into the house to help if he's harmed. but I'm afraid you will have to take the longer route. Go through the proving halls, but be warned, Bolgan roam those corridors now. Saturnin has already started moving to crushes. Farewell.
I really tried to listen to all of your word soup earlier, and I swear all you did was say, oh, we, like, need to be the decay people or, like, something, and we're, like, the decay house of the decay people. We decay, so you don't have to. And then, like, and then he's like, somehow that also equates to striking a truce to the Tuatha, but nobody wants that, just the leader does, and the leader's failing them at every step, so it seems like it's bad. That the leader's bad and everyone else should just be listened to, and yeah, let's fight the Tuatha, fuck it. You know what'll really make decay is if you lose against the Tuatha. That's a lot of decay. Oh, shit. Why is this place repopulated? I was just here. Now there's a whole new enemy set. Wait, are Bolgans Tuatha fact? I don't know who the Bolgans are. No, execute it, damn it. This game's definitely bugged in a lot of ways. Sometimes I just can't execute, which you do by holding down Y instead of tapping Y. Like, I'm holding it, definitely. And I'll do it, and then especially since it doesn't work the first time, I'm like, okay, maybe I fucked it up. So the second time I'm like, we're gonna hold it. So then I'll sit there and I'll hold it like 3 times in a row and it'll just keep casting instead of holding. Just like how dialogue's busted, so oftentimes I have to wiggle the stick around and keep pressing A over and over again to get the dialogue to register. This is an embarrassing product at the moment. This is like... it feels like the cyberpunk of HD remakes, but I don't know for sure which ones are the original game and which ones are the remake, but... Oh no. Oh no. I guess it's not it's probably not even the Silent Hill of remakes, to be honest. The Silent Hill remakes were plagued with all sorts of problems. Why I very specifically sought out the original copies of 2 and 3 instead of the re-releases, because there was many problems, including the revoicing of the entire game, which no one was happy with. But this is all definitely landing in very much in the "you had one job" territory. An HD remake's meant to improve a game, not worsen it. You could have revamped the combat so that it didn't shit itself whenever you wanted to target the right enemy. Add a fucking bare bones like Dark Souls or Zelda style lock-on mechanic so you can actually control who you're attacking. You know, like basic shit that should have been in the first game. But instead it seems like it's worse than the game ever was.
Speak, you have arrived as Tybri said you would. It is good that you were able to get through the proving halls unscathed.
Done it before.
But there are greater events at work here. The house may have breathed its last.
You're gonna have to run and buy me again why that matters.
My summer brethren embody the growth and progress, but the winter fae bear the burden of regression. The house's founder, the Weeping King, took on their sorrows and freed them. We carry the burden inherent in the winter fae, so they can achieve greatness.
You know, that's a really vague, useless word soup. That's not only is it boring exposition like it always is, but it's not good exposition. It doesn't serve its job very well. We gotta do, like, the vague decay stuff, bro, like, whatever that means, but, like, you know, if everyone does the decay stuff, we won't have, like, a society, so, like, we're the decay people, and that somehow, like, saps the decay instinct from the other fae, or something, and they are so which means they get to all go off and just be summer fae, but blue? Like, is that the takeaway? The summer fae and the winter fae are completely dissimilar, nothing alike, in that they are completely identical, but the winter fae has a weird cult that is like the true winter fae, and they just kind of hang out over there and we ignore them. What is this setting? Am I even right? I don't know if I'm right when I even try to summarize the story. Saturnin.
He has wreaked havoc within the house and loosed horrors that none of us dare witness a second time.
What does that mean?
He is our foe, and he must be stopped.
Can you speak in specific terms ever instead of vague, vagaries, I guess? Like, he brushes with an incredibly wide stroke. It's just like bad, good, important. And that's like that's each sentence. Like no specific like things about people that like I can latch on to and remember for more than 5 seconds. What do you mean?
The rebels have begun a march of folly to make war on the Tuatha. As they said, they are rallying at a fortress called the Fallen Hall. I sought to stay them. They ignored me. I sought to warn them. They paid no heed. For them, the war started when I became the King of Sorrows. And now, my reign ends. Saturnin wants this, mortal. Without leadership, the rebels will be easily picked off. And so it falls to you and Tybri to save them.
I think they have a leadership. It's just not you, you fucking narcissist. Why did the Fae rebel?
Years ago, the House of Sorrows and the Tuatha made a pact of necessity. The House would remain free of the Tuatha, but could not interfere with their war.
Yeah, it's stupid.
In addition, the Tuatha demanded we appoint a more amiable king, one who would uphold the pact. And so I was named. I became the face of our submission, and when Saturnin led the Tuatha to fight us, the House had no reason left to heed me.
Like you're failing to explain why the House matters. And so, yeah, it's like, why would you be a weird cult up here that pledges neutrality instead of helping your families and your country against an invading army? And especially now, like, of course they're going to rebel now of all times too. Like, another army has come in, so that now is their chance. They can fight together with us if they're smart, and they hopefully won't just run off alone when there's very obviously another army here that's also fighting the Tuatha, but who knows, maybe they're just useless. Yeah, I'm with them, let's fight.
No, I will not have every last member of my house blundering to their death like a fool. Unlike Fae, mortals cannot be reborn.
Okay.
You will get your wish, in part. Saturnin will have to reveal himself in some form to attack the rebels. Confronting him is your top, your only priority.
Why?
I have instructed Tybri to assist you as best she can, but she is not as suited to this work as you, mortal. Look after her.
You've gone to such great lengths to explain to me that you guys dying doesn't matter, but you're freaking out that they're gonna die, and I gotta watch after this lady so she doesn't die. But also death doesn't matter. Like, what is the point of establishing those things if functionally you're just regular people just like everyone else and it affects the story in 0 ways? Like, at least the other people were completely fucking deranged because they were so attached to the fact that they don't really die that they replay the same stories over and over again, including killing each other, then just get back up and live it again. Except no, they didn't, because I replaced someone because they died, which means that when they die, they do get replaced, because they don't get reborn as the same person, so every time they die, they're replaced by a new person. Except I killed that lady because she keeps dying and coming back over and over again, and she's tired of dying over and over again in her story, and she doesn't want to die anymore, so she wanted me to ally with her and not kill her. Or, my option was to ally with her, but I was supposed to, like... She wanted to kill me and supplant the story so she didn't have to die anymore. But if she dies, she doesn't have to be the character anymore, right? Because that's how I became one of them, was that my dude died. And then, like, I guess he's going to get reborn somewhere, but apparently dying does get you replaced. So then why was she in an infant... Shit, what the fuck is happening in the story? Oh, shit. I don't think I understand anything. What is the story? I hate the Fae. I hate the Fae. So they're so annoying and they're so vague and they're so fucking weird. But then every time I try to interrogate why they're doing anything or even the logistics are of their society, if I think about it for more than a few minutes, it ends up contradicting itself as far as I can tell. I don't know. Good luck. Can you explain it? What is... Wait, what was the House of Ballads? Why was she in an infinite loop of being miserable if I joined the House of Ballads by replacing somebody who died? Then why was she in a loop? Why was she dying over and over again and sick of it happening at long last? Unless it was the spirit of the original character? Is that what it was? Was it the spirit of the original character themselves inhabiting their body for realsies, and that metaphorical and or long dead person like was sick of dying via a series of avatars? do they possess them with the other character? That's definitely not the case, because I wasn't possessed by the character I was supposed to play. But also, I brought people back to life with potions. Do they bring her back to life with potions? Then why don't they bring everyone back to life with potions? Why was I able to replace somebody? Why is anyone ever replaced if they can just instantly bring anyone back from the dead with their super revive potion? There's like 12 more questions that all have contradictory potential answers right now. That I'm... What? I don't know. I'm listening to all the dialogue. I'm sure that some of it's boring enough that it bounces off and it doesn't stick correctly, but like, man, I never had, like, when Tally tells me about the Canary, holy shit, the Quarians, I don't have these like massive gaping questions about the Quarians. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So you guys lost your original planet to the Geth, and you all live in little spacesuits because you've been off of having a real planet for so long that your immune systems are shot. And every now and then, because you don't have a real planet and real resources, whenever somebody's growing up, they go on a pilgrimage, and on that pilgrimage they can either leave forever or come back, like the Amish basically. And if they do come back, which most of them do, they are meant to return with a significant gift for their own tribe, with the idea being that it's those series of gifts and offerings that keep the flotilla afloat, because they're important supplies and artifacts that help them function as a society and continue to slowly replace all the aging infrastructure that they depend on to survive. I haven't played Mass Effect in years, and I'm just fucking rattling this shit off right now, like it's easy. What is the House of Ballads? Come on, man. Is it all me? Tell me. Like, is it all me? Am I just failing to understand the majesty of the best RPG ever made, and I'm just completely an idiot that hasn't processed a single element of the story? Or is this game, at best, like doing the Final Fantasy XIV thing, where even if the story is interesting, when you eventually figure it out, it's like horribly told? Because Final Fantasy XIV, like, we get flack for quote-unquote not paying attention to the story, but we're literally reading the entire story out loud to each other as a group, and that's like how we're getting through the whole story. But until you reach the first expansion, the story is just so poorly told, with so many, like, just endless names and endless exposition and no personality to the characters and so on, that it is difficult to parse any of it. And then it very obviously gets very better at Heavensward, which is why I think I'm right when I'm criticizing this game. I think I am on the right track there. And it's just like, Heavensward has all these big dramatic moments and like impactful emotional beats and characters that have defined personalities and narrative arcs, to the point where they literally like start making the old characters that sucked start having narrative arcs and personalities and so on too. And it's like, oh wow, this is the arc where this happened, and that's the arc where that happened, and it's like they clearly learned something and improved upon it. And I guess when I'm playing this game, I feel like I'm playing A Realm Reborn, the bad part of Final Fantasy XIV. The part that much of the audience literally sees as the barrier for entry of getting to the game they like. Hello.
We need to get out of here.
Hello, everybody.
We need to get out of here.
They're going to destroy us.
They are going to destroy us.
The Tuatha are here.
The Tuatha are here.
We need to get out of here.
The Tuatha are here.
They told me the jet would give me the jitters.